Good evening, friends and relatives. Thank you for joining us tonight. Feels like it's been forever since we've been on, but it's actually, I believe, only a little over a week. So thank you for joining us tonight on Yellowbird Traditional Storytelling. I'm Lynette Tubles, and I'm your host for Yellowbird Traditional Storytelling, and I'm also the director of Yellowbird Lifeways Center, and this is our nonprofit organization. We've been bringing you storytelling since, I believe it's been March. We've been doing it for quite a while now. And just want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. And we've had so many different storytellers. Tonight, we're back with Chief Phillip Whiteman, who's going to share some holiday stories and just, we're calling it a winter solstice program, storytelling tonight. So he's going to share a little bit about holiday cheer and some of the things we do here at Yellowbird. But hope everyone had a nice holiday, and we're coming up into the calendar new year. For us, we celebrate our winter solstice, which happened last week, I believe it was. And so it was, it was a beautiful time. And just the other night was the full moon again, which was absolutely stunning and beautiful and powerful. So I just want to welcome all of you tonight and say thank you again. And if you have any comments or questions, you can definitely leave them in the comment section and let us know where you're joining us from. And we're going to start out with just a video, just a little clip that I took when we were cruising down Main Street here in Lame Deer, Montana, and that's where we're coming to you from. On the Northern Cheyenne homelands in Montana. So we're going to show this little clip, and then when you come back after watching this clip, Phillip will be on and he's going to share a little bit about that. So just welcome everybody, share with your friends and family, and thank you for joining us. So, okay, here we go. Santa with his mask on, our little elf. Santa with his mask on, our little elf. Okay.
Okay. All right. We have a nonprofit. It's called Yellowbird Lifeways, and each year we dress up as Santa Claus and elves and Mrs. Claus, and we bring gifts to our Cheyenne people. We go out to all the districts, and because of COVID, things kind of, they challenged us and we had to do things different. But I got to, Santa got to take his, we're down to one reindeer, down to Lame Deer, and with the Christmas lights, and one elf, but anyway, here it was really fun, and to see Santa like that. And I was teaching, Santa was teaching the elf how to sing Jingle Bells in Cheyenne. Achewan, Amei Achewan, Nam Stoyohem Nahedetanom, Hey, Achewan, Achewan, Ame Achewan, Nam Stoyohem, Nahete Dadanom. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, boy, I couldn't stop laughing. Well, anyway, Santa was teaching the elf jingle bells. But tonight, I just wanted to reminisce about. Well, it's. I gathered my daughters, Florence and Elliot, and their friends, and we had some visitors, and I started talking to them about well, Christmas and New Year's and Easter, and it can be happy, but at the same time it can be sad. And I'm just going to share with you what my parents used to share with me. And well, those are some tough times, but a lot of good times. And young people, you can, there's nothing wrong with them. They look perfectly normal. And accidents can happen. Next day they'd be gone, they'll be called home, and or people be grieving. I know that there's some challenging times in front of us, especially right now. And then same way in around Easter, everybody be excited, and springtime's coming on, and then accidents happen. And my parents used to tell me that those times you have to really be careful when people that have a strong belief in Christmas and the birth of Jesus and the crucifixion and the resurrection of Jesus, the bad spirits, they work twice as hard, and sometimes they can take people, young people, during those times. And then I had my dad's parents, Frank and Emma. They used to talk to me about our traditional concepts about New Year, December 21st, right there, about the solstice, and in the springtime, about right there, April, May, and June, leading up to the summer solstice. I guess that the doorway across the Milky Way, Sion, I guess it opens up. Young people, the old, the elderly, the sick, the weak, they can be taken during that time when that door opens up. Yeah, when the solstice, when Mother Earth inhales and exhales, and those that have gone on to the other side, they can come back and they can come back and visit us. And sometimes I guess that place is so beautiful. Sometimes they can take their relatives, that death spirit also to sickness. So that's one interpretation. They're talking about the solstice, winter solstice, summer solstice, like that. And then I had another grandmother. Her name was my mother's mother. Her name was Sauli Krasimil Bites. And she was real strong Mennonite, and I gave a picture to the people that help us with our video. They're supposed to put an image up of her. I don't know if they did or not, but she lived with us, and she was from the White River community in Busby. Yeah, there she is right there. That's when she was a young lady, and we got that picture out of the Cheyenne photo album. I think that book, and but we have other photographs of her too. But her and the name is Amia, Milky Way Road Woman. And so here, I think that he had real impact on me. And she was real strong Mennonite. She taught the man that was behind that church how to interpret into Cheyenne, the language. And here, well, she tell me about Jesus, and she was born from a virgin mother, and then my other grandparents, they tell me about sweet medicine, how he come to our people from a virgin mother, and during that time, the Cheyennes, well, their interpretation and my understanding of it, my memory of it, I guess they were lawless and they owned women. They had like almost like eminent domain and dominion. They owned stuff. And they wanted to know where that father of that child was. And when that baby was born, they would exile that woman. And she hit that little boy. And later on, the grandmother and grandfather found it by the grass, by that water. And that little boy, he grew up, he was a teacher to our people. And my grandmother tell me about a story about Moses. I guess he was found in some kind of a basket. And then that boy, he grew up too. And Moses, I guess well, the way I understand it, I guess there was a man, I think they called him a pharaoh, and I guess he got message from God or something, and there was like 10 plagues, and one was darkness, one was death, and I guess he let his people out of slavery, and he kind of wandered around out there in the desert, I think, or in the forest or whatever. But here, when that man changed his mind, I tried to chase those people down. And that Moses must have split that water and just let his people through there. And then after his people got through that water safe, when those guys that were under that Pharaoh's order, when they attempted to cross that water, I guess it covered them and killed them, destroyed them. And my grandma telling me that story. And then my other grandparents. Over here, they're telling me about sweet medicine. And they're telling me that when sweet medicine was called to a place called Noah Whisper Buttes, when he went into that mountain and he was taught and given gifts, and he brought back a way of life, covenant gifts that we still have today. They go along with our ceremonies, that story. And here, I guess Moses, he was sent up on the hill too. He brought back 10 Commandments. And one of the Cheyennes' number one law is you can't cause bloodshed, can't commit murder. Then I guess this guy over here, he's talking about not supposed to murder, and lie, and steal, and cheat. So tonight, I just wanted to share a little bit what my grandparents raised me. And that's how I learned to talk Cheyenne. That's my first language. And my grandmother, Sally, she talked about baptism, where they use water to baptize you. And my dad's parents, they talk about water too. Water purifies you. It's water of life. And a lot of people, they think that our Cheyenne people, they had no concept of Christianity. And maybe they had no concept of English, but they understood that there was guideposts, there was a creator, and there was laws, and then there was prophecies too. And I go to a place that talks about soldiers attacking our people at the little Bighorn battle. And I guess they had no ears, those soldiers, and they're falling into the camp like locusts. And I think that was one of the plagues that one of the 10 that Pharaoh was told locusts was going to cover the land. And our prophet, sweet medicine, he talked about Hu'awut, 2 of them. I guess they're going to come. They're going to come from the east. They're going to take our language. They're going to take our culture. They call it Winistano. We're going to all just be any old way and be crazy. And I really believe in my grandma Sally. And she tell me a lot. Same way with my mother. And what they told me was that my grandmother told me that you had to fear God. But the love of Jesus and the love of God was so true and unlimited. But you had to fear it. And these other ones over here, they tell me about we don't have the word sorry in Cheyenne. But we have empathy, mercy, and compassion. And then we have remorse. When things happen to us, well, they don't happen to us, they happen for us. And that whole different kind of thinking, I guess we're going to lose it someday. I was talking to my doctor friend. His name is Dr. Roy Shelton. I called him up and I said, I was working with my horse today, and all of a sudden it came to me. And he said, well, what came to you? And I said, well, we're just going to have to learn to agree to disagree. And as long as we don't start talking about religion and money and politics, we're going to get along. I said, well, what do you think of that? I told him. He said, well, I think that's a linear description of a circular concept. He said, and we just had a really good laugh. And I wanted to focus on what we have in common, like giving in our traditional way, it's a way of life. Just like the three wise men that brought gifts, sweet medicine, he brought chiefs with wisdom, unlimited. They say that the future is not going to be the survival of the fittest. It's going to be survival of the wisest. In our traditional ways, all the wisdom of the universe lies within our circles. And we don't believe in eminent domain or dominion. We don't even have a word for animals. We believe that everything is alive, made by the Creator, and that this is not our home. We're just guests here. And I don't believe, well, I was working with a tribe up north. And we were working there with them for a couple of days. And finally, on one of the days, I think it was the second day, one of them raised their hand and said, Phillip, you're traditional, we're not. And I'm going to run for tribal council in November. And we're going to attack this poverty and drugs and alcohol and corruption. Once I get into office, we're gonna change it. And the only reason why we're here listening to you is because we were mandated work for a tribal program. I kind of put my head down and I told him, I just got one more day left, so just bear with me. And here, I prayed for that gentleman. I prayed for myself. I prayed for understanding. And then here, in the middle of the night, my grandmother, she come to me in my dream. And she told me about a story about a woman that was an adulteress. And they brought her to Jesus. And they said, well, according to Moses' law, we're going to stone this woman to death. What do you think about that? Jesus, he was sitting there, touched the earth, blessed himself, and he made some marks. And then he kind of looked up at him and told him, you know, you guys are right. It's good to honor the traditional law, Moses' law. But those among you without sin, cast the first stone. And then she reminded me of that story. And then she also reminded me that the Cheyennes, they didn't crucify their teacher, their Jesus. Sweet medicine talked about resurrection, not crucifixion. Talked about transform. 3 days you're going to roam. You're going through a transformation. Then on the 4th day, when the Creator and your relatives, they come and escort you over to back to the other side. You're neither old or young. You're beautiful. You're light. You're alive. Sweet medicine told our people we follow our ways. Empathy, mercy, compassion. And since we don't have sorry in our language, maybe it's time, since we're losing our language, that we adapt. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I forgive you. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because my love for you doesn't depend on you. They say that you can't give away what you don't have. You gotta learn to love yourself. So these transformations that I'm sharing with you tonight and talking about, we celebrate Christmas. We celebrate the solstice. We celebrate teachers. We celebrate diversity. I guess if you don't understand diversity, you're not going to be able to understand unity. I guess Creator created all the diverse of life, diverse of colors and diverse of languages, diverse of humankind, and all the different four-legged, two-legged, and all of life. And it's all connected. And I guess if you don't understand diversity, you get disconnected. What you see in others is usually what you dislike in yourself, your projections. A lot of my people, they suffered historical trauma. I don't like the different denominations, what they've done to our people. I don't like all the English language, and it's convoluted, it's all twisted up. I don't like how it's twisted and used to justify keeping us in incarceration. I don't like all the broken treaties and all the broken promises that were made to our people when they come here and make friendship treaty rights. We don't have conjunctions in our language. We mean what we say, and we say what we mean. We don't have eminent domain and dominion. We're not over animal or non-Christians. We're not over. We're one with everybody, with everything. And I think that there should be guideposts. There should be empathy. There should be true love. Because if I'm understanding right, that's what my grandmother understood the Bible, her belief system. That someday they're going to send it in Nirvana now. Someday they're going to release us from slavery. Someday they're going to make amends. Someday they're going to make wrong right. Someday they're going to, it's going to be a day of redemption, a resurrection. And we have to fear that poverty mindset. We have to fear that gimme mentality. We have to fear the effects of the reservation, historical trauma, that mindset. We have to fear it. Otherwise, you'll be consumed by it. And then I look at the numbers of the deaths around the world. Then I think about that Pharaoh, what he put his people through when he released those slaves. He wanted to keep them oppressed. I think about what's happening around the world with all the different nations, the conflict, the darkness of death. And I think about sweet medicine. I think about Eric Horns. I think about that true love, that internal life and light. Our traditional teachings tell us the creation story, how there was no light, there was only darkness and no sound. And our mother, the creator, created light before she created the moon and the sun and the stars. And that's that light that we have inside us. It's connected to empathy, compassion, and mercy. Not only for one another, but for ourselves. That we are connected to that light that was made. That's our guiding post. So this way, when you're ready to transform back into a co-creator, when you're ready to cross back over to that Milky Way, I guess you see white lights, and those are your relatives. You can't see things that are not there. They're hidden in plain sight. But once you start to see that light and you go through that transformation that your spirit have in human experience, I believe in Christianity. When I got back to that next day to that group I was working with, I told them I'm going to pray in my language and I'm going to burn cedar. And I'm going to share a story with you guys. I'm going to share my grandma with you guys. Then I told them about my dream I had. I said, you're telling me you're going to run for tribal chairperson, and you tell me you're a Christian, and you tell me you're mandated to come here. And I said, who's mandated here? And they all raised their hand. I said, who sent you? And one said alcoholism. Another one said alcohol, domestic violence, and all the different social programs. And then I said, that's the crucifixion. You guys are all focused on the problem. I said, I think I'm more Christian than you guys because I believe in a living creator a resurrection, a light. Then I told him about that Pharaoh, how he kept his people in slavery, how he controlled them through poverty mindset, a gimme mentality. Today, this moment, right here, right now, is a beautiful moment of transformation for all of us. First, we need to release ourselves. We need to free that bondage of that mentality. And we just need to start being in gratitude. Now, I'm not here to create controversy. I'm sharing with you my transformation and the way I understand things and see things today. When I was a kid, I got a gift. It was a bull. Every day I run, when my parents would go down to the hardware store, IGA store, there was a bull there in the back. They had batteries. It's a black bull. It was a fighting bull. It was run by batteries. And that bull would kind of walk and blow smoke. Man, I really wanted it for Christmas. And we had to go to celebrations like over in Busby or Crow. One time we were on our way to Busby and there was still gravel road. My dad was driving and he had some of his seniors and me and my sisters, we were all dressed up in our regalia. So this way, when we get to the powwow, we just start dancing. They bring in the drum. We got over there by Rosebud someplace, about 10 miles out of town. My dad noticed sparks coming out of the right wheel in the back. So he stopped and one of the seniors, they got out and looked underneath the car. But that time that car was burning and it was still rolling too. And that brakes must have caught on fire and it was next to that gas tank. My mother grabbed me and my sister and bailed out and that car was still rolling. But I still had my grass dance off and on. And then we stopped and they climbed underneath there and put the fire out. And my dad went down and got some wire and pinched up brake line and we took off again to get to that powwow to celebrate Christmas. But here's a story I'll share with you. When I was growing up, I was in first grade and boy, I didn't like school. Oh my God. And I was in the bathroom and I was drawing a horse. Boy, they're pounding on that door. And finally, I opened it and my teacher pulled me out and looked at that what I was doing in there. I had a picture of a horse. I was going to give it to my dad. Boy, she really got after me. I had a little ponytail up here on my head. And boy, she just grabbed it and jerked it around. And you're going to be nothing. All you ever want to do is sing and dance and talk about horses. You're going to be nothing. But anyway, I was telling my friend, his name's Wise, my relative, Ruben Dillahet. He really liked this story. As I told him, I said, when I was a kid, us guys were so poor. I made my own stick horse. I took socks, draw horse's eyes, nose, mouth, that top of that stick, them sock, made ears and a stick. I said, man, I used to ride that stick horse around all over the place. But I taught it how to change leads and taught it how to back up and taught it how to sidestep. And man, I just worked with that horse all day long, that stick horse. And finally, somebody stole it from me. I said, man, I rode it to school. And when I got off school, I looked for my stick horse. It was gone. And man, I was sad. You're looking at me. So how come you were sad? Well, it wasn't about that stick horse because I just made a sock out of it and that stick. I said, but man, I had to walk all the way home, I told him. He got a big kick out of it. But tonight, I just wanted to share with you guys, maybe maybe we just have to learn to agree to disagree. Maybe we shouldn't go into deep water with religion and money and politics. Maybe we should just focus on empathy, mercy, compassion, because after it's all over with and done with, we're still connected and related somehow in some way. I want to thank you guys for listening to me tonight. I want to sing a short song here. Wish you guys happy holidays. It's a different kind of a holy day. It's going to be a new year. Okay, Lynette.
Well, thank you, Philip, for the insight and the beautiful songs and just reminiscing. It brought back a lot of memories of when I was a child too, and my grandmother and all the teachings that she shared with me. And I think the older you get, you don't really see religion. You see beyond that, and it's about our teachers, our prophets, our teachers, and there was many of them in this world. And so the older you get, I think the more you connect to that, to the teachings, to the message, to the stories, to the values, to, the way of life that we're supposed to live, the compassion, the mercy, just like Philip said, compassion, mercy, all of that. And, through our work here at Yellowbird, that's what we work to do. It's Yellowbird Lifeways is really about a way of life. And so when we dress up as Santa Claus and Mrs. Santa and our kids put on elf hats and we go out and give toys away, or we get our little ponies together, just like in the beginning of the program here, we showed the video of when we were cruising downtown, and someone commented on that. I posted that video before on my Facebook page, and someone commented and said, you brought hope to the community. And when I read that, it made me emotional, and talking about it makes me emotional again. Because we have to hang on to hope, There's been a lot of death, but we have to hang on to hope. And our children represent that. Our children are the prayers of our ancestors. And so we have to invest in that and do those things to brighten their day, to make them happy. And sometimes if that means putting on a Santa suit, just to bring a little joy, then that's okay. And there may be some out there that don't agree with that, but that's okay too. And so, we work hard to do that. So I just want to, again, thank Phillip for his sharing tonight and sharing about his grandma Sally, and such a powerful name that she has, Milky Way Road Woman. And if you think about that, it's just so beautiful, to go across that Milky Way on, our journey back across the other side. So that's a powerful name. And it makes me think of my grandmother too, and all of the teachings that she shared with me around the holidays, and how it was such a happy time and a good time. And so that's what I want to pass to my children and to our community. And we do that through our work. So just want to wish every one of you, a happy winter solstice, happy holidays. It's a new calendar year. So I'll say Happy New Year as well. And no matter what you believe, we're all connected. We all walk on Mother Earth. We all, drink water. We all breathe the air. We're all connected. And so, I just wish the best to everybody and thank all of you for joining us tonight. And we appreciate all of you. So have a beautiful week. And on Saturday, we will have our food sovereignty program back again on Saturday. So hope to see some of you then. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you.